I don't know if this person still makes and sells the mohair, but this particular doll, this was the mohair that I used for her, and I have mohair from other places, other suppliers as well. But I love, love, love the hair on this doll. But I didn't realize until recently, you see the little dots on her head there? Little poke marks where the hair is not coming out. Like where I missed and didn't even see that there's no hair in those holes. I forgot to mention the reason why I think this happened. A big part in why is when I was living at the previous home that I was living before I moved, because I moved recently, and that was when I had completed this doll with the rooting and everything. I had the worst lighting, very poor lighting to work with, and very, like, not that many windows in the house, indoor lighting, terrible indoor lighting. And then I moved and we've got a bunch of windows, lots of light. It's so much better at this new place. And I'll show you the exact spots where they where I need to put the hair in on her head. Alright, here's some snapshots I took with my DSLR of the same doll I just showed you from the video taken with my phone. I'm going to have to take this off. Everything's all glued and put together, but I'm going to have to take this off, take everything out of her head, take the weighting out of her head, and just take the hair and go over every individual little hole that's on the side in front of her head that does not have hair coming out, and put hair in it. And then seal it really good and glue it from the inside, and that's going to take days of drying time on top of that as well, which is fine. But then that way I'll get this fixed, and she will be her rooting will not have anything wrong with it. And there will be hair coming out of all of what you see here, what I'm pointing the camera at. But see how there's like just a little bit of hairs on the side of the face there and around the eyebrows? That's kind of like what I'm used to doing, is just like a little bit of hair like that. And then there was a doll, I don't know if I have any pictures on a hard drive, but there was a doll one time before. I know it was the Adri Stote baby, and I can't remember the name of that sculpt, but I did some painted hair on the forehead and then rooted the rest of the hair. And then there was a Tegan that I did the same thing to, with like where I did a little bit of hair on the forehead, painted, and then rooted. But that was all that's what I was talking about when I was showing you the Michelle head, that I've never done a full entire head. I've only done just like a little bit like that. But yeah, this needs to be fixed. That's not acceptable to me, and I could not charge money for a doll, like, because I want to keep her for now, but I'm going to also want to sell her. And when I sell her, she's got to be near perfect in my eyes. So this is this is just far from perfect and way below my standard of what I couldn't send a doll off like that. No, no way. The rest of her is just, I'm absolutely pleased with the rest of her. Oh, and there's also like the eyelashes. I noticed like two lashes are like just right above the lid instead of in between the eyelids. That's not acceptable to me. So I've got to pull those out and, just fix that. That's just not acceptable. I've got to do better than that. So that's another thing that I've got to fix with her. And that's why her head is not on, because I haven't gotten to it, but I will. And so she's just in her little thing here waiting to get her hair. And that's just one of the to-do list, to-do things on my list. And then I've got to put together Michelle when I'm done with that. And then what else do I have? Oh, the Lindy kit. I've got to figure out where I can get another body just like this. I had it perfectly stuck, not perfectly, because I don't know if that caused this or if that was just already compromised to begin with. But I thought it was perfectly stuffed and everything the way I would have at least liked and ready to go with the weighting and everything. But look! See how the stitching came out? Uh-oh, and there's like a little spot too right there I just noticed. See? I mean, I need to get a whole new body and replace this. For those two reasons. So now Lindy doesn't have a body because of that, and that's a project, and that's something that's on my to-do list. Let's see what else is on my to-do list. Oh yeah, this is the body that I switched out for, and I have to I'm gonna reweigh it and everything and restuff it. It's not done. You see the little. See, this is the glass beads that I use. They're very fine, but they're not so fine that they'll come through the stocking. And this is really, really soft luxury fiber fill. I'll use that in the body, and then I'll use the basic fiber fill in the limbs. But I'll use the luxury, the really super soft kind in the body, because I just feel like it makes that big of a difference. It's just so much better. I see why they charge more for that. Here's another project or another doll on my to-do list that I haven't gotten to. But this one is from, this doll has got to be about between 18 and 20 years old. I cannot believe I started Reborn doll making in 2007, and I only did it for like 2 years, and I didn't make a whole lot of dolls. I can't say I've made more than 20. I think I'd be surprised if it was more than 20. I think it was less than that. But during that time, she was one of the ones that I made to sell. And she needs her nails completely redone. I don't think I ever really finished it, but it was in storage. The hair is still flawless. Like the hair is just as far as, you know, how I did it that time, there is nothing wrong with it. Now, the lashes, I need to redo the lashes. And you can see how the eyebrows were done then. The blushing might be a little bit too intense on this doll, which I'm going to add some more layers of paint on the, am I going to add more layers? Yeah, on the hands and feet. And I have a way that I can do the face. See, I don't even know if I even glued her hair because she was never really finished. And then she was just in storage. She's got some dust in the mouth and like maybe like in the eyelids and on the fingers and toes or whatever, like from the time that she was out before she got put in storage. And so I've got to like wipe down the doll, give it some more layers of paint, maybe just 1 or 2 layers to subdue, like, lessen the blushing on her face. I might end up just leave it alone. I don't know. But, so I've got to, like, add the more lashes. She needs a completely different body. What was wrong with this body? There was something wrong with it. I thought there was something wrong with it. No, no, that's a different doll I'm thinking of. There's nothing wrong with the body. It just needs to be completely restuffed differently. Restuffed and weighted. Her limbs need to be restuffed and re-weighted. So basically like reborn, but with only maybe a couple more layers of paint. And just refreshed. And I really like this doll because you don't need to do a pacifier. She sucks her thumb. You could even probably find a pacifier and like cut the tip off if it will fit in her mouth and just be modified. I like dolls like that. You don't have to worry about magnets. Although I do include a magnet in every doll that I sell, unless somebody were to specify that they didn't want it. But me personally, like the dolls that I keep for myself, like my Esme, she doesn't even have a magnet. I just used a modified pacifier because her mouth was open just enough for me to like cut one for her and do it that way. Oh, she's a whole nother project too. She's another thing I need to work on. That's also on my to-do list. So I need to go ahead and share that as well, because the main point in this video is to show you all the projects all the dolls in waiting that are needing to be fixed, so to speak, or improved on, or finished. So I had the these little miscellaneous doll things where I didn't have anywhere to put them, so I just displayed them here, and I moved the cubes that I had in here onto that shelf. And I originally had this shelf, like, was it not this shelf? It was the contents of this shelf in other cubes in here, and the pink cubes were on here, and then I had my hanging rack on top of this, and so it was like up high. It just looked really bad. So I changed all that up, redid all this, made this shelf instead, and then I was able to put these on display. I just always thought she was cute. I think I got her on eBay either before or after I started reborning, and I used to like these when I was a kid, and they were just so cute, so I got her. I used to like the Cabbage Patch Kids, and I got that one because the one that I had when I was a kid, I never kept it, so it just kind of like represents my childhood. This little girl in the back here, I wonder if I can put on my flashlight. Yeah, that is a Thumbelina, and it has a mechanism that moves her around. I'm holding my phone, so I'm not hands-free, so I can't show it to you. I'm going to have to use the Meta glasses instead in another video to show, because I am going to introduce the Thumbelina dolls in a future video, and I just haven't done that yet, because I love those dolls. They're so cute. They're from the 1960s, and yeah, I'm not from the 1960s, but I just like those dolls. So she is one of the nicer ones that was in one of the best working order that I had got a hold of at the time when I was repairing and reselling them. And I still have a bunch to repair and sell, and that was going to be a video in the future that I was going to do, and I just haven't gotten to it yet because I've got all these other little videos that I want to do and all these other projects. But this little guy is the only sculpt I ever purchased from somebody on eBay. I bidded and won this one. He's got a little break on his nose. It was my fault. I think it fell off the shelf at one time, but the reason why I got it was because it reminded me of my oldest son when he was born and how he looks. And I've not gotten any portrait reborn dolls of my own babies yet, although I have seen a few that look just like them. They unfortunately, the ones I have seen are already sold out kits, and I don't even know if I can get a hold of them. But this one does remind me of my oldest when he was first born, and that was what got me to bid on that. This bear has personal sentiment, I guess you could call. I got it for my birthday, and I know it was between the ages of 8 and 10. And my grandma, who is no longer alive on my dad's side, she sent that to me. It was part of my birthday gift. And I think what had happened was it had a string that held the arms together, and it was holding a heart. And I don't know what happened to it, but I think that's how it originally looked. I'm not big on bears or anything like that. I'm not a teddy bear person. But this has sentimental value because it came from my grandma. It's the only thing that has sentimental value besides this little guy right here. And these are just super cute, and that's just why I got them. But they're on display here. And I was going to talk about Esme. And that's when I got distracted showing you all that other stuff. So now I'm going to tell you what's going on with Esme. I'm going to redo the very first video clip that I tried to make before I grabbed the boppy, because I thought I was taking the video, and I think I took a picture instead and was just talking and talking and talking and wasn't even recording. I'm sure anybody who does videos and edits them can relate to that happening. Oh my gosh. what I was supposed to explain in the very beginning, which I am going to put now into the clip, was the reason why Esme needs repair. She has her eyelid got chewed by a parrotlet. If anybody who knows birds and knows parrotlets specifically, how feisty they can be. I have one particular, well, I don't have him, but my daughter has him still. A male parrotlet flies around, yells. He's tame, he's free-flighted, but he does stay in his cage unless he's let out. But at the time I had her out on display, I wasn't too much longer after finishing her. Let me shut my door. I can hear my current birds. What I was saying is, I had her out, and that feisty little bird started chewing on her eye before I came into the room and noticed what he was doing. I don't know if I had stopped him or noticed it right after the fact. I did not leave any doll out at all in any room that bird was going to be allowed in after this happened. Oh my gosh. I was like, I was going to sell her, and I was like, she is not sellable. Which, it was a blessing in disguise, because now I can't afford to get this kit now. And I really love her, and I ended up keeping her, and she ended up becoming my only keeper kit, which Americus might end up being my next one too. But when I got, oh yeah, I explained in the next video when I got her, but what my issue is not being able to decide how I'm going to fix it. There's a couple of different methods that I think are possible ways to fix it. I've never done this kind of repair before, so I don't want to pick the wrong method and mess it up and make it worse. So that's the main reason why I haven't done anything with it, because I don't want to mess it up. And I'm glad I have waited all this time and I didn't try in the past, because in the last 2 years, has it been already? It's been over a year and a half, I know, because it was last year that I learned to do my own nails. I have a professional quality electric nail electric nail file, and I have gel products that cure with UV lighting, and colors that I cannot use on my nails since I'm allergic to henna now, and I have to use the non-hypoallergenic kinds. And so I still have other colors that I can use for press-on nails or just whatever, and that I can't put actually on. I can't cure them on my nails, but I can cure them off of my nails and then use them as press-on nails. And I can even use those colors for possibly, like, you know, maybe just practicing nail art. But what I was going to say was, I could use gel, or I could use thick medium from the Gemini paint series, because I've already, this doll is already painted with Genesis heat set paints, and I still have Genesis, and I also have Gemini, and I'm using the Gemini thinner and what left of Genesis thinner that I have. And so I could use the option of using thick medium, and then I could just mix, you know, the colors with it. Or there's that clay you can buy in different colors. Clay that I could buy in different colors that you bake. So I could actually incorporate using like a little tiny bit of clay in there and use that as well. So I don't know which option is the best route to go. I'm thinking that regardless of what medium I use, whether it's gel, thick medium with Gemini, you know, or clay, regardless of what I end up using to do the repair, the first thing I do need to do is take my electric nail file, because it's much gentler than a Dremel, for sure. And I've never really got the hang of my Dremel. I don't even know how to like do the bits, but when it comes to my electric nail file, I've got different bits. I even have like really fine, teeny tiny bits that I can very gently go over this with. And I can, because if I don't file it down, the sun is really getting on here. If I don't file that down and I just cover over it,